All right, it is that time. We are not only brainstorming some ideas for research, but potentially finding sources for our work, whether it be in AP Capstone or on ramps. If you are in on ramps, you do have the capability of utilizing the AP databases. That's going to be a different video. I did want to point you to ClassLink and to our Mac and Via, where it's in the folder under Library Resources. When you click on that, it opens up a window that has kind of like an everything for us. If you go into Explore, you can find databases this way. And I just wanted to kind of briefly discuss with you the different databases that we have. There were more available a couple of years ago, but we have lost some of them. I know that a lot of my students have used Academic OneFile in the past, and that one's no longer available to us. And then some of these are, and some of these aren't. EBSCOhost is still available to us. It's a pretty easy one to use. It just gets a little intense when you first open it up because there's so many different choices. But for the most part, you can click on EBSCOhost, and then here you can search for your topic if you're doing food in the United States, for example. I mean, you'd want to be more specific than that in your search terms. I'm just giving you some ideas. Then you can begin filtering it in some fashion. You definitely want to filter it by full text. Otherwise, what's the point, right? So you would either place, you would want to click on it here or here and apply that. If you are looking and needing peer-reviewed sources, that would be the top tier source. Then you'd want to click on peer-reviewed, but you won't be using those for everything that you do. Some of you, especially if you're in on-ramps, are going to be looking for informational and viewpoint sources. Peer-reviewed may come into play at some point, but you can click on that. You can definitely utilize the source type and a peer-reviewed and academic journal. Those are pretty much the same thing. Like I said, top tier sources. But if you're looking for a viewpoint, you might want to click on the news or the magazines or both and see how that goes. And then from there, you just kind of start figuring out, like that one's peer-reviewed. I'm going to go back up here and click on magazines. And then at that point, you would want to figure out if they are opinion pieces or viewpoint pieces or informational, that type of thing. So that would be up to you to kind of start determining for yourselves. We do have Gale databases available. And when you click on that, you come to a page that has links to several different databases, most of which are not going to be terribly useful to you. Global issues might be useful to you. Maybe the Gale and Context High School, maybe. Just kind of depends on what you're looking for. And then the opposing viewpoints is yes and no. It's hit or miss. So you've got that one. You also have those same ones. If you keep scrolling, they're listed out here as well. So you don't have to enter that particular direction. And then that's kind of all that we've got available to us within our own. And I just wanted to kind of pop into one of them. This one is opposing viewpoints. And I typed in food in the US and came up with, again, like you have to kind of filter, but I came up with different numbers of articles that are available. It's a pretty broad topic. So I think, yeah, that's going to be kind of good, starting point. But from there, if you're looking at the viewpoints, for example, there are 12 of them. You may not actually, these may not be viewpoint articles that you can use as per, if you're in on-ramps, as per what their expectations are. But it might be a good place to kind of start with finding ideas. I'm looking at the topics here, and I don't see that some of these are even food related. So, I mean, that's kind of gross. But is that really food related, or is that more prison related? So you kind of have to look through the titles of the articles and really hone in on how does this fit a topic that I'm needing to investigate or wanting to investigate. You could click on magazines, do the same kind of thing. You'll notice here in global issues, it has a different number of viewpoints and a different number of magazines. So you'll have the potential of having different sources available to you. Again, you want to utilize your filters so that you can figure out the more recent the articles are, or the more recent for Capstone, you'll deal with a lot of academic journals. So the more recent those are, the better off you are going to be. Hopefully this helps you to begin or to carry through with your research. Thank you.